Just walking around to meet Nigel. Not seen him for ages. Going to be good this. I think last time I saw Nigel was at our wedding. Look who it is. It's only Nigel. Nice to see you, mate.
How you doing?
Yeah, nice to see you, brother.
You've given me a brew in a right minging dirty cup, you know.
I've given you in my mug.
Yeah.
Do you want a fresh mug?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I know I'm being a big girl.
I've given him a brew in a minging mug. I'm going to make him a fresh brew. I know. Right. I'm going to leave the camera out here. I'm going to make some fresh brews. We are discussing the ins and outs of how to get the measurements to fit the boat. The roof of it is the easy bit. It's getting the legs the right length.
So I'm back on with Andy and Sailing Melody, but this is Ocean Melody, their sailing yacht. Andy needs me to make a sort of cockpit, if you like, a cockpit cover. So to go over, and I'll show you where it is. It's over this front part here of the boat. Now the issue that I've got is to recreate this in the workshop and make it in the workshop. I need to know the dimensions and how wide it is, and if you've been on my channel and you saw me making the solar arch, I used an original push pit in order to make that solar arch from, because what I did was I used the original to mark the floor out and where it went, and then I knew it would fit when I got to the boat. We don't have such a thing on this. So as you can see, this, if I get to this angle, you can see that it slopes that way, so you've got the curve of the top there where this hood wants to come up from, but we want to follow this line going round here, so you've got a curve that way. It also slopes that way. If you look at the side, when the feet go on, they're also at angles, so them angles have to be correct, and also the feet are going to sit on this thin channel here, and so we have to get them angles correct as it goes round. And it's going to have 4 legs, one at the front there, one around about there, one about there, and one about there, and then it'll have 2 more feet further back, but they're easier because they're on the flat. To recreate that in the workshop off measurements is going to be nigh on impossible without being right. So how do we do it? One option would be to build it on the boat, but with many marinas, and this one's no different, they don't allow any hot working on the marina itself. So that, unless we sail the boat out into the ocean and then try and build this with the boat tossing up and down on the waves, we need to come up with another solution. So that's either do it off measurements and hope when I get here with the built thing that it fits, or Andy's come up with an idea which I actually think is really good, and that's to make it out of wood. So wooden spars going up, make the roof bit, which will be just under here, and just make it out of wood. That'll get all the leg lengths the angles right, where it should fit on that, and then he can bring that to the workshop, and it's just like having a push pit. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I've made Nigel a coffee in a clean mug, because I made tea for me and coffee for Nigel, and I'd be using the same mug all day, and I made them in the wrong mugs, and then we realised we got the wrong drink, so I gave Nigel his coffee but in my mug, and it was minging, so I've made him a fresh one. But now we've had a chat and we know the issues, and I think we're agreed the solution, where are you? Yeah, the solution is to basically template it. You know, templating is a tried and tested engineering solution. It's the easiest solution to most things you're going to make. And yeah, you're making a mock-up, really. I'm
making a very accurate mock-up out of very cheap wood. So I'll buy cheap wood because it's going to get disposed of. Where it's flimsy, I'll have to put gussets which won't exist in the final version. So I'll use some plywood gussets to triangulate stuff to stop it from flexing too much.
Being flimsy doesn't matter as long as
the shape doesn't change when we get it to your workshop.
That's the key bit. And then there's certain certain parts of it are really key.
Yeah.
They're the critical measurements and the critical angles.
Yeah.
As long as they're correct, doesn't matter what it looks like in between.
Yeah.
We have run around. What's happened is we've run around. Pretty much all the boats in here have run around. Look at that. But the cool thing is, we know the topper tote works. We don't have any barnacles or anything. It's nice.
Yeah, we should actually paint our waterline today.
That boat, I think, has run aground. The Oceanus over there has run aground. The only good thing about running aground is that all the pontoons look really tall. Look at that.
Yeah,
There's one over there on the side. There's another one that's at a really awkward angle.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Yeah, the concern is what damage is it doing to the pontoons? Because the ones over there are like on this really bad angle.
There's been a problem with the lock gate in the dock, and all the water's gone out, or most of it. And this is what I've come back to find. Look at that.
Just arrived.
Don't step back.
Oh,
Mind
no.
you, if you step back now, you'd only get dirty.
Yeah. And he get a bit of a
It went
sting.
out ever so quick then.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder what that smell was when I pulled up.
Right.
And it's all the mud that's never
Bloody
been
hell.
Victorian times.
Right, we're leaning on our fenders. Oh no, we are actually on the gel coat.
I've tried to jam some actual fenders in, but we're touching the wood here, so we can't move the boat.
No. There's no possible way we can move that.
I've jammed these in, I've lowered this one.
That one's
But we are on the pontoon.
Well, as long as it doesn't rub,
Yeah.
we're on the pontoon, but most of the weight is on this fender, so.
The Mum's managed to jam in a bunch of fenders, but the main concern is this. The wood is touching the boat, and we really hope it doesn't rub or just mark the side of the boat, which isn't very good.
Just checking that Gypsy Dancer here. Bless her, Gypsy Dancer's still afloat. So we've just got to watch when we float back up that she doesn't get like any of her fenders caught underneath anything, or.
Yeah, and the
I'm a bit worried. Our gel coat's actually on the pontoon.
I didn't manage to get a fender in time.
Yeah.
I got here and I couldn't get a fender in there. We were already touching it.
Oh, it was already leaning over.
Yeah.
Right, flipping heck. So that's since before. I mean, I left and walked up the pontoon.
But
Yeah, it's actually on the gel coat there.
I'll walk up with
so
you
what
then.
I'm doing now, because this the pontoon's still dropping, we've still got another hour of tide to drop, and this spring is bar tight.
Yeah.
So I'm slackening that off. Just watch out in case something moves, because I don't want the pontoon dropping to then pull the boat down.
Yeah, have you seen the one behind? They've had to tie their mast to the wall.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a common way of doing it. At least we're leaning on the pontoon, but it is damaging our gel coat.
I said just since turning around looking away from the boat.
I know, it's going out really fast.
I can see the anodes.
Pram. You get the pram. We're moving down the other side.
Can I get my stuff on the boat?
No, your stuff's fine.
Okay.
It'll all be fine on the boat.
Your stuff.
It's fine, it'll still be there even if the boat falls over. Right, you go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, so we're moving to the other side. It looks, our boat looks like it's going to go up against the sea wall. It's a bit stressful.
Yeah, come on. This is dangerous now. All right. Don't panic, but this is now dangerous because the boat could actually go over sideways completely.
I know.
We're getting out of the vicinity, Dave, because I've got a feeling that it's going to tip over on its side completely. Yeah. That's going to be several months of repair. That's going to need a surveyor. Bollocks. Oh well. There we go. At least whoever repairs that will be doing it on the insurance, so it will be done properly. Well, you hope.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Can you see if Gypsy Dancer's lines are rock tight? I'm not inclined to climb over and.
No, they're not. She's still upright.
No, she's all right.
And,
Fine.
and to be fair, any pressure pulling the boat the other way
It's good. Right, we're going to get off the pontoon because
we'll be up on the wall. Okay. This is really stressful. Right, go on, careful. I will say, you will see Jack pushing the pram. I'm holding the baby. The baby's not in the pram.
Yeah, you know, it's actually got on the side of my boat in.
I said our boat's not meant to look like that.
No. It's all very upsetting and very stressful. Melissa's in bits. The boat's damaged, so I can't show you at the minute because it's too dangerous to go down there, but where the pontoon is pressing against the side of the hull, we've got all of our weight on a small area. If the tide went out and this boat leant over on the sand, it's still spreading over a large area, but because it's on a small area, it's actually bowed in the sides of the hull. I haven't split the gel coat yet, but it's only a matter of time. Either way, you can see a physical bulge in the hull. Do you need an extra pair of hands? No. You're all right. Everybody's frantically trying to stop their boats getting damaged. But look at the, now you can see here, because our boat is heavy and big, she's leant against the pontoon and her whole body weight is against about 8 inches of pressure on the side of the hull. Oh, it won't fall over this far, Jack. And there we are. You can hear it creaking. Can you hear that creaking? Oh, that's so sad. See, the problem that we've got, you see, is the fact that the whole weight of the boat is where that big blue fender is, and we've put a board to stop that cleat puncturing the hull. This piece of wood here is a piece of wood that we borrowed off Dave there, and there's a cleat on the actual pontoon, and we need to try and stop the cleat forcing its way through the side of the hull. But it is damaging. It looks like it is damaging the gel coat and putting a buckle, you know, a bend in the side of the hull. Yeah, you can hear the cracking. That's not, I don't know if that's the cracking of our hull or the cracking of the pontoon moving. There's another half an hour or 3/4 of an hour before the tide's completely out as well.
My concern is are they going to be able to fix it between now and the next?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday now. It's high tide's about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, and then we're low tide again in the middle of the night. And I'm at work tomorrow morning. We can't come out of here mooring buoy.
So a few people are leaving tonight, but I'm not sure we've got even enough water to get out tonight.
No, I don't think we will. We're on Neeps.
We're on Neeps.
We are. We wouldn't even get over the gate. This is the problem. The gate is broken. Oh my goodness. And the lads are trying to fix it. So this gate goes up and down with, you know, to keep water in the marina when the tide goes out. And there's obviously, it looks like there's something stuck in it or something's jammed. I don't know what the problem is, but it looks bad. But water shouldn't be pouring out there. Water should stop at the top of that wall.
Waiting for the pontoon. Looks like it's going to break. It's really windy, so I don't know if you can hear me, but the water just keeps going and going. They've not managed to close the gate. I think we've got another half an hour to go before the tide changes, but we're just standing up the top looking at our boat creaking, listening to it creaking. There's a cleat that's almost in the side of the hole. We've managed to wedge a piece of wood in. All our fenders have popped, but there's definitely going to be some damage. It's not good. But there's our masts behind us. Yeah. What can you do? Everything's repairable, but you know, potentially this could be a massive setback for us, and it's quite upsetting. Trying not to cry too much. 6 weeks post-pregnancy, hormones are not helping me at this moment in time. This boat here, he's had to cut his lines because they were just too tight. So his boat's it's tied up. He's had to tie the mast to the sea wall. There's a few others that have got lines running from the top of their masts over to the pontoon. The pontoon over here looks like it's starting to break. The one, because obviously our boat is putting, you know, 16 tons worth of weight is going onto this pontoon, plus all the other boats that are leaning on it. Well, us and the boat in front are leaning on the pontoon. The rest of them are leaning out. Luckily, what we've got to watch is when the tide comes back in, that we don't end up on top of the tiny little boat that's rafted up to us. So one of us is going to have to get on that boat and kind of push it off or something, I don't know. But we need to make sure as she comes upright that their boat floats out, basically. Not a good day. But Ollie's under here. He's quite happy and content at the moment.
We're going to head home. We're going to nip back to the house to get some big fenders because I don't think they're going to fix this tonight. We can't leave the marina and go out on a mooring ball because A, I've got to be at work tomorrow, and B, there just won't be any because it's half term and Sunday and the weekend everything will be taken. We could anchor, but then I can't get to work.
Currently with a 6-week-old, I don't feel comfortable anchoring on my own.
No, I can't really leave Melissa and a newborn baby at anchor on their own and go to work for 12 hours. So we're going to go
here with the way the wind shifts.
No, we're going to go and fetch some huge fenders that we've got at home. So it's a couple of hours and there's nothing we can do now. All we can do is wait and see what the damage is when we get back.
Jack.
This is not good. It's not good. Look at this.
Fenders.
It shouldn't be like that. And the water is just pouring out through that gate. Pouring out. Fortunately, it is now low tide. It is now low tide, and we're in a situation now where the water will start to come back in. Okay, so I'm back and I've got a whole load of big fenders which I've put down by the boat. I've just been speaking to one of the lads from the yard, and apparently what's happened is a piece of metal had been got jammed in the lock gate, so the gate wasn't against its seal properly. So when the tide went out, the water went out with it and the gate wouldn't seal. They've spent all afternoon, fair play to them, they've worked so hard removing this piece of steel, which was a couple of 100 kilograms by all accounts, and they've got that removed. So that's great, which now means the gate is up, the gate is sealed, and when the tide goes out again late tonight, the marina won't empty, which is good.
We're going to have to wait a bit longer than normal for the tide to come back.
Because it's got to come up and over the gate. Whereas normally it just drops level with the gate. It does mean the gate's going to be out of action for a little while until we get the all clear to go out of it. So even though we've got some damage to our hull, or we suspect we have, it looks like we have, we might not be able to get out over the gate until they fixed it to go and get the repairs done anyway. But here's what she looks like now. Look at that. Oh, I don't even know if the GoPro grid does it justice, but no. Every single boat is on its side. And, you know, fortunately, Ocean Melody has got an encapsulated, very strong encapsulated keel. I would hate to have a bolt-on keel and have that happen. That's a Vancouver, so built like a brick outhouse. So they're all right. That's my mate Dave's Vancouver. I'm just so miserable.
We know things can be repaired, but we're kind of a bit panicky about what's going to need doing, just because we've got a boat in the water and we've
sunk our whole life into this boat now. We've put everything into this boat,
and it's not so much the money, is it? It's the fact that we're definitely gonna have to get her lifted out, and
we have at very least we've got to get her lifted out and get her professionally surveyed, which we did before we bought her, but we'll
have to do it again.
We're gonna have to do it again.
But yeah, so it's just a bit like, we've got deadlines that we want to meet and leave and stuff, but that's the way of the sea.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately some of the work that we're going to do can be done on the hard, so while she's on the hard having the survey, and we can carry on with work unless we're in the way of people. If there is work needing to be done on the top sides, or if there is some structural damage, fingers crossed there isn't, because she's very, very strong. Yeah. But if there is some structural damage, then
yeah, I mean, we're just lucky that Dave managed to help us get that piece of wood over that cleat, because that cleat was...
Yeah, I don't know if you can see there, there's a piece of plywood there, and that's where one of the cleats on the pontoon is, and that cleat would have punctured a hole straight through our hull had we not got that in. That would have gone straight through.
Yeah, with all that weight leaning on it.
Absolutely it would. See what I mean?
Yeah.
But what's, like you say, what's to stop the water going back out that way?
Yeah.
It must be that the gate presses against that, and
one can only hope so.
He seemed to be fairly confident, the guy that I spoke to, that it's against its seal all the way around. I'm trying to catch the moment when the water suddenly pours over the top of the lock gate. It should happen any second. It's going to be pretty dramatic, I think. And then all of a sudden, all the boats will float again in a matter of minutes. Oh, this is just a total disaster though, because we're so far along with Ocean Melody, and I'm sure it's fine, and I'm sure the damage isn't bad, but the very least we've got to do is lift out and survey, isn't it? Right, and now, as that water is coming over the edge in a torrential downpour, what I want to do is make sure that I'm down on the pontoon, because We've then got the issue that as Ocean Melody comes back up, is she going to get even more damaged? Somebody already on Ocean Melody, I think it's the owner of Gypsy Dancer, who's rafted up to us. And of course, that's a concern as well, whether it's damaged anything where he's been tied onto us.
It's like it's really...
Does Dave need a hand pushing his off and stick one of our fenders? Huh? No, just leave it for now. So the tide is coming back over the gate quite ferociously. You can probably see it in the distance. The GoPro's died because we can't charge it or get to the batteries at the moment on the boat. Andy is sticking in extra fenders.
This is the boat coming back up.
Yeah, hold on to something.
Yeah. Once it goes, it's going to go. Eh? What, of the piece of wood? Oh, can you hear the cracking? I don't like that noise. It's my hull, basically. Yeah. It's a piece of wood that we've got between the cleat and the fiberglass. Oh, I don't like that noise.
Are you clear, Phil? Right, I wouldn't move anywhere. And just try and hold yourself off because there won't be enough depth for you to go, yeah? Just hold yourself on for now. Yeah.
Are we all right?
We're going.
We are. It's here now. Look, that's where the pressure is now. It's bowing the hull in as well. That's actually flexing the hull there. That's what it was doing earlier when it bowed the side of the hull in earlier. Yeah, there's nothing we can do, is there? It's 16 tons. You're not going to move it.
No. Just try and hold it in as much as I can. You can see the
Yeah.
cleat there, see?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I'll give that.
I owe Dave a piece of marine ply.
It's going to be an expensive one.
Piece of 15 mil.
Fine there.
Is that all right now, is it?
Yeah, you're fine there. She'll creak a bit more as she comes up, but
Yeah.
apart from that, alright. I think, yeah.
I think that fender's dead. Big Bertha has bitten the dust.
I think she's dead.
That was Big Bertha.
Yeah, she's no longer Big Bertha.
She's no longer Big Bertha. She's lost a bit of weight.
She's
hasn't
been
she?
on Weight Watchers.
Oh dear. Been on Weight Watchers, yeah. Oh dear.
That's it, your hull's fine now. We're just starting to...
Are we clear now, are we?
You're still touching, but
There's no pressure on it now.
Pressure now, no.
Yeah, yeah.
So the pontoons are level again, so we can go back down, so it's safe. There you go. It looks quite dramatic. The water coming in.
Right, we're back afloat. Let's check out the carnage down below. This actually looks like we've been on passage. Oh, the milk didn't spill. The laptop didn't end up on the floor, but everything else is everywhere. Oh, for goodness sake, that's our expensive camera, and it's fine. And by and large, I think Oh, the TP bin has fallen out of the bathroom. That's not fun. Right, let's just turn some lights on. Have a look in the aft cabin. You'll notice we've got a there's the dehumidifier has gone flying. We've got a washing machine here that is going to appear in a future episode, but we haven't showed you that yet. You haven't seen that? Okay, so that's all fine back there. I don't think there's any anything else that we need to really worry about. Right, so all in all, not too bad, not too bad. Just a bit of a mess. Next thing I think is just quick tidy up and then beer. They have assured us that they fixed the gate and it's sealed and the tide shouldn't empty when the tide goes out this evening, but we'll see. I'm going to wrap this episode up. It's really difficult to know what to say. We're back afloat. The boat's okay. There is damage and we are going to have her lifted out. The bottom line is we can't lift out just yet because the lock gate is up, closed, keeping the water in the marina, and where we need to lift out is about 8 miles up the Menai Straits. So once they've fixed the lock gate, then we can get out, but at the minute we're trapped in here. What I do want to say is thank you so much to all the people that sent just lovely messages of support, particularly David, who just put his hand in his pocket and immediately sent us quite an amazingly generous contribution to sort of incidental costs, which are huge at the moment. I know the insurance are going to, fingers crossed, cover all the damage, but at the minute we're just we're struggling a little bit, I have to say, and that's just massively appreciated. I mean, it's sort of Melissa and I were both in tears over it. We were so grateful. So thank you, David. That just means the world to us, and everybody else, our incredible patrons that have supported us through this. And you know, again, I've said it before, no obligation on anybody, and I'd never ask anybody, but if you do want to help, the links are in the description to do so. I won't say any more than that. I'm going to close the episode there. We're kind of upset. We're quite positive about the situation. We're trying to keep a positive mindset. We were planning to lift out this summer anyway to do some work on the underside and to do our through holes, and hopefully we can tie that up. So maybe that'll be a silver lining, that we can actually get some other jobs done that we were intending to do anyway. But for now, I'm going to sign off and see you next week, hopefully with a more uplifting and positive episode. Cheers guys, bye.